you very much. We'll move to item number 6 that was removed from the consent agenda. This is the appointment of bipartisan observers for destruction of election ballots pursuant to statute. We have heard from legal counsel that, again, this does not authorize any action that would be directed by the Secretary of State or the Election Office, but simply does the board's role under the statute of appointing observers. And is there any further question that you have, Commissioner O'Hara?
I would like to make a motion that we table this until next week.
There's a motion to table. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. I'm not in favor of that motion. Again, this is the appointment of observers as required by the statute, and so I feel it's incumbent upon the board to do its statutory duty, and that there's no rationale for waiting to do that, and so I won't be supporting the motion. Commissioner O'Hara?
Thank you. Question to the legal counsel. This would not be of any, it wouldn't be a problem to table this into action until next week. Is that correct?
I am not going to weigh into politics of what is going on here right now, but at this point, legally, I am telling you that this item has nothing to do with the destruction of actually that occurring. This is just simply your statutory obligation to comply with the state statute.
This is not politics. I'm just asking, if we table this until next week, is that a problem on timing with the Secretary of State? I'm asking that question. It's not a political question. I'm just simply asking. And since we were informed by the sheriff that there is an issue, it just seems like that we should have a little bit of time before we take action on this to see what's happening.
Chair and Commissioner O'Hara, as I stated previously, at this point, that is within your purview as a board whether to continue it. As to whether it's good or bad, that is within your policy and your determination.
Thank you.
I know Mr. Waters is present, too, that could address any other issues.
Thank you. Commissioner Allenbrand.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, this is a state statute that falls under the direction of the Secretary of State, and so we're just doing our due diligence. It has nothing to do with the letter from the sheriff. And so with that, if anybody else, I do have a motion.
Well, there's a motion on the table.
Okay.
There's a motion to table that is before us.
Until next week.
I understand your motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is the motion before us.
Okay.
If there's are any questions on the motion to table, seeing none, would the clerk call the roll on the motion to table?
Commissioner Fast.
No.
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, no.
Commissioner O'Hara.
Yes.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick, no.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Yes.
Commissioner Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, no.
And Chairman Kelly.
No. 2 votes in favor, 5 against. Is that consistent with your count?
That is correct.
Okay, the motion to table fails. Therefore, I move the board to authorize the chair to appoint a bipartisan team of 2 Johnson County electors who meet statutory qualifications as observers for the destruction of election ballots, each for a term through December 31st, 2025, as long as each remains qualified pursuant to KSA 25-2708.
Hanslick, second.
Moved by myself, seconded by Commissioner Hanslick. Commissioner O'Hara for the question.
Thank you. It was my understanding that because this item is on our agenda is the reason that the letter was sent from the sheriff's office. So I don't agree that this action is not, does not have, or was not required because of the sheriff's letter. I'm just amazed that we don't have the courtesy to just wait a week and have some conversations and see what direction this is going. That's all I'm asking. But my emotion lost, so I understand that.
Further questions? Commissioner Ashcraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And a clarification, the state statute requires the board to take action. Is that correct? That's been stated.
Chair and Commissioner Ashcraft, for clarification, the only action that you are mandated under state statute as the Board of County Commissioners is to appoint a bipartisan electors to observe any destruction of ballots. The actual destruction is upon the Election Commissioner and the Secretary of State.
But it's for the board to appoint.
Correct.
And what we're doing is delegating that responsibility to the chair to make those appointments.
Correct.
Okay. Given honestly the kind of the hyper-partisan nature that we're currently in, I'm just wondering, Mr. Chair, wouldn't it be better to have those appointments come before the commission as a whole to act upon, rather than just putting you out there to make those determinations? And if it comes, we could ask each of the parties, the central committees or whatever, to put forth nominations that they feel would be adequate representations, and that way it would guard you and this commission from any suggestions that who is appointed was somehow not fairly representing the interests of those two political parties. So I'm asking that as a question. I hope that makes sense.
No, I understand your question, and you mentioned the hyperpartisan nature of this issue. It's really unfortunate that this issue has become so hyperpartisan and full of misinformation and a lack of good faith. And because of that, I hesitate to want to put two names in public before the commission, and therefore subject those persons to ridicule and strife in an unfair fashion, given the hyperpartisan nature of politics these days. And so therefore, consistent with the way that this board has appointed others pursuant to its statutory duties, I feel that the motion and the fashion is appropriate. With that, I'll call the question on the motion. Ask for a second.
Second.
All right, ask the clerk to call the roll.
Commissioner Fast.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner O'Hara.
No.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
No?
Commissioner Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, aye.
And Chairman Kelly.
I have 5 votes in favor, 2 against. Is that consistent with your count?
That is correct.
Very good. Motion passes.